Mine sveinar heime ved og gjøy med det gulleballe, de andre seks på Heidingland og gjøy med det Jan I Kalle. Vi det ut av Franklande med dyre.
Hello, and welcome back to Chapter 22 of Paladin, Warriors of Charlemagne. All two of you on the internet who have followed us to this point, you need to move out of your mother's basement. But anyhow, with us tonight, we have a new player, our very own Saccharin, our Saccharin Saracen, Zypher, who will be playing Rogero of much romantic interest to one Bradamant. Unfortunately, Slip won't be able to be with us tonight. We have Renier, played by Tet, and of course, Samson de Verdun, played by Walter Peck. Without further ado, let's go ahead and kick it off. Turn on the romantic music. Because, as anybody that watches Blades and Blasters know, we're all about the romance. Are we not, boys?
Oui.
Bradamant's price. Bradamant, beautiful and bold, sat on a veranda. She wore white, long, flowing robes that accentuated her figure. She was strong and powerful, yet upon her frame was an unnatural grace found only in the fairest maidens of that time. Her father, Aemon, stood in the frame of the door leading to the veranda. In his hand was a letter. "I understand your disappointment, dear daughter," he said. "But a prince! And the Byzantines ever linger to the east, and your marriage to Leo would secure our family fortunes for many years to come, and..."
"But Rogero, I seek only a word of Rogero. My brave, my love, my beautiful and dark Rogero."
She stood up, her ivory gown fluttering in the fresh breeze.
"I care not for a Byzantine prince. May he be cursed at hell. What news of Rogero?"
"We have heard not," said Bradamant's father. She looked at him.
"You are lying,"
she said. "Then come closer."
"I can tell by your furrowed brow and your manner of speaking, father. Know that a father's love has a price, and that price has now plainly been paid. Your heart is open to me through the window of your eyes."
Knowing that proceeding with fiction was useless, Aemon told his daughter the truth. "He has been captured in Croatia. Their king holds him captive and hostage."
"And I will not marry the prince.
Bradamant cried.
He is no doubt soft and inadequate."
She stood to her full height, displaying her power and beauty.
"I will marry no man, lest he best me in battle."
"But you are a dame most fair," protested her father.
"Indeed, but if it is God's will, my husband will at least match my might and my skill with a sword, no?"
Aemon sighed. "Very well, dear daughter, very well." He slunk away from the veranda, hanging his head and muttering to himself. "I love her so," he said, "yet obstinate she remains. But what am I to do? My interests, dear God, diverge. I must look to my house's future. Yet my daughter is a mourning dove, and beautiful Rose, nay! She is an eagle with sharp talons, and will not be enamored with a soft, weak prince. Alas! There may be no arresting her desires, and, as the poets say, the heart has its own master. And with that, we move from Francia down to northern Italy. From northern Italy, we move down the coast, halfway to Rome, and then we transport ourselves eastwards across the Adriatic Sea, with its booming surf and rolling waves and pristine blue water. But now we found ourselves, indeed, in a deep, dark dungeon. Alright, you should be able to see Rogero and the Croatian knight there, eh?
Yep.
Yep. Mr. Rogero, you have been in a cell nigh on 3 weeks. You have been given bread that is pockmarked by mealy worms. You are given cabbage that by the time it's got to you, it's fermented. And that's about it. You have lost 20 pounds over these past 3 weeks. And your hair and your nails are grimy with dirt. When you look to the left and to the right, you see fingernails embedded upon the wall. The smell of human filth fills the prison. The dungeon is filled with the screams and yells of the tortured and tormented. Down the hallway you hear a man sputtering to himself in some foreign language. You know he must be wishing for death. Roleplay how you will, Rogero, the Saracen, recently baptized in Rome, arrested for a crime you did not commit. Take it away, Zypher.
Rogero looks sinewy in the pale grey dusty light coming through a small window high up top. He hangs in chains, strapped to the wall, just wearing his loincloth, his hair an untangled mess, beard caked with drool and blood. My faith in my Lord is tested again. They do not believe a man such as I would pray to Christ. They call me a spy, a liar, an unworthy cur. But I am pure. This is just another test of my faith in my Lord. And like my Lord, I will show them mercy as well.
How very romantic of you, Rogero, Knight of Francia, Paladin to be. Make your first roll in the system. Rogero, roll love God to see if God loves you back.
How do you do that? Common skills?
Attitudes. It's on
Attitude. No, it's passions.
Passions.
And, yeah.
Love God. Yeah, there you go. Ooh.
No.
Ooh, God does not love you.
How do you cry out as you've been forsaken?
Was I wrong in trusting you? Was I wrong in renouncing the faith from birth? I did this all for her, and is that wrong? Yeah, that's it.
Subtract 1 from your love score as you were tortured at the hands of the Croatians. At that point, you hear heavy iron-shod boots descending the dungeon steps. The boots click-clack on the hard stone, and you hear a creak as the dungeon is opened. Raising your gaze, you see a Croatian knight clad in mail and a scarlet undercoat. And he takes a bucket from the corner filled with your own urine and splashes it upon thy face. "Wake up, Saracen," he says. "I have news for you." You're muted.
Yes. What is it that you have to say to me?
It seems your story about being baptized in Rome has drawn maggots out of the woodwork, weevils, and cockroaches. Northern Italians and Frankishmen are being said to sail across the Adriatic Sea and are landing upon the coast even as we speak. But I want them to know the truth, Rogero. I have been your torturer for lo these many weeks, and now we have come to the point of it. He takes a sharp dagger from his belt, and he kind of whips it around, sticks it underneath Rogero's chin that is sunken in, and Rogero can feel it underneath his mandible. He presses so hard that he draws a drop of ruby red blood that falls to the filthy floor. Come on now, Rogero. We all know that your soul is damned. You belong to the gods of the east and to the south. A pagan of the sun and of the moon and of the cow and whatever filthy animal they worship in other parts of the world. Confess now and receive us with death, so that we can tell your friends that their journey was in vain. What say thee?
I am Rogero, the speaker of truth. It is the truth that I was born a Saracen. But then my eyes were opened to the true God, and I was reborn again a Christian more devout than you who stand before me, a Christian more devout than any who you may know. Do what you must. I know my God looks upon me with kindness. The men who come across the sea will vindicate me or condemn me. But it shall be by their hand and not yours. You are unworthy. Be gone.
The Croatian knight, what do you think? What would his name be there, Zypher?
You got a Croatian name generator? You got it for everything, so.
Here you go. Darko? Darko's
Oh dear.
Darko. Darko sounds... Darko.
Darko Ivan.
Ivan?
Yeah, Darko Ivan. Like he must have a last name, right? Or do these peasants not have last names?
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
He's no peasant. He's a knight. Knight of Croatia. Serving under Viseslav. And he says to you, I give you this, Rogero. You have some set of balls on you. They are not unlike the bulls you no doubt worship in your southern heathen lands. But I've never met a heathen so enamored with the love of his pagan gods to resist my love, my kiss, for 3 weeks. What is it, Rogero, that keeps you alive in this trying situation?
Tis my love for something else. Something even beyond God. And hence you cannot shake it, for it is the core of my being. It is not something that you can extinguish. She is a fair maiden of lands you will have never even seen or even dream about. You are unworthy to even look upon her. And cheeks like white porcelain.
All this. You have suffered all this. Blades, torture, famine, rats nibbling at your toes in the wee hours of the night and continuing until the morning. Eating with the cockroaches and the vermin. Being woken in the morning with your own urine thrown in thine face. For a dame! A bitch! Perhaps you are Frankish after all. No Saracen would be so foolish to throw his wife away for a woman. Give me a last bit of roleplay and we'll go back to the coastline.
Okay, so this is going to be interesting.
Get him.
You unworthy, ungrateful wretch of a man. You call yourself a knight. A knight of what? A knight of barren lands, of a barren king, bereft of chivalry. You dare to besmirch the name of my fair lady? When I am righteous again, I will see you on the battlefield. You will die by my blade. Do your worst.
Give me another love god. Or a passion god, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, look, okay.
Tell me what it looks like as you realize whether it's God's will or something else. You've lost so much weight that you are able to slip from your binds.
And yeah, it's, he is so angry with the words of Darko Ivan that he is shaking with rage. He wants to lunge at him to break his neck. And as he does that, the grime, the blood that is caking his wrists acts like a, just lubricant and pulls him through, and he falls to the ground. Rogero gets up, looks at him, and starts at him.
Darko Ivan looks up at you, his wide eyes bloodshot. He has left his sword sitting outside the cell. What? You were bound! How is this to be?
It is just to be. Now your fate is sealed.
What do you do?
I grapple him. Punch
No
him.
rolls needed. Yeah, you don't need to do that.
Oh, okay. So Rogero lunges on him bringing him down to the ground as Darko is getting off from his knees. He quickly wraps himself around him and has Rogero's back turned, and he starts to choke the life of Rogero. Sorry, chokes the life out of Darko. And
Please, mercy! As a child of God! Mercy! Let's see here. Cruel or merciful? Roll merciful.
okay, wait, where is that in
There's
personality?
It's personality traits.
Yeah. There I see. Cool.
So this is the mechanic that if you're over 16, I can force your hand in something.
Okay.
Yeah, you're merciful.
Yeah.
Tell me
and
how
I think
you,
it's a pretty solid one, right? Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Rogero, he continues to constrict him and tighten, his arms around his neck, and the voice becomes hoarse and hoarse. It's almost a whisper, and then just a passing cloud clears the way, and there's like a warm ray of sunlight that hits him through that small little window, and he remembers of Bradamant, his fair maiden, and just the thought of her and her face, his arms start to relax. The whisper becomes a groan, a hoarse groan, and Rogero pushes Darko Ivan away, gets up, and turns around and kneels and looks at the light coming through that little window and smiles.
And that's when the scene fades and we move ourselves just a few miles to the west, where ships have landed upon the east coast of the Adriatic Sea near Croatia. And Renier, Legree, and Samson of Verdun, along with their small army they have raised from the Papal States in northern Italy, find themselves greeted by lines and lines of horsemen and soldiers on the rocky coast of Croatia, and riding forth upon a large white stallion is a very broad yet handsome king of the Croatians by the name of Viseslav. Roleplay what looks to me as you guys land on the shore and are greeted in force.
Renee says to Samson, "It does not look like we are going to be greeted as friends, perhaps."
My spy was able to discern that he was wrathful, correct, in the end of last session?
What's that?
I was saying at the end of last...
The Viseslav was, yes.
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Well, my Duke, I believe it is important to remember that he is a wrathful man prone to outbursts. Perhaps he is simply angry at our unannounced arrival, perhaps?
Perhaps. I suppose we will have to find out. It is not good that we do not have a full force here to perhaps defend ourselves if we need be. We are stuck between his manors and his keeps and the sea.
Perhaps it is best to remember then that we are here simply to negotiate the release of one of King Charlemagne's paladins, Rogero.
Very well. We will see what he says then.
I shall greet him, as you are, much to my dismay, my superior in position amongst the Franks. Therefore, I will go out and greet him and then bring him to you.
Oh yes, I like this very much.
Do not remind me, my friend.
He smiles, but yeah.
with that, Samson will go ahead and I assume they had horses, come ashore and go out to meet the king and his retinue.
Yes. But first, 6 weeks ago, it's like a little cutscene. It is a crisp evening in early summer near Aachen when Bradamant lets herself down from her veranda with a chain of sheets tied end over end. She has 2 maids that look out for her. Their names are forgotten to history, but they are Bradamant's most beloved servants. And she tells them upon her decision to leave, "Cover for me. You will not be forgotten in the tales. For I am to sneak off into the night to go on a great adventure to recover my love. None other but Rogero, who was baptized in Rome not 3 weeks ago. And to he I shall flee, and to his arms I shall find safety. You, my dear maids, I trust will deceive my loving but overly righteous father. And to mine own heart I trust to God and Lord Christ, who died on the cross for our sins. He alone knows my true path, and he alone will light my way to Rome." And so there is a montage of her leaving Aachen under a full moon and riding south through all of Francia till she meets the Alps. Being of noble birth, she slips a few handfuls of silver to the guards up in the Alps and thus creeps into the former lands of the Lombards, now controlled by the men and women of Francia and the Duke Renier Legree. But she doesn't stop there. She goes further south, all the way to Rome. All the way to Rome, where one of the priests there tells her, "But my dear lady, Rogero left weeks ago. He traveled across the sea to meet one named Leo in single combat. But alas, it seems that Leo was promised to you and should have your hand." But as the priest looked at Bradamant, she was already running away on her gray stallion, and thus she made her way north all the way to Spoleto, wearing the helm of a normal knight, bearing the banners of her house. She made herself unknown and incognito and onto the ships that crossed the Adriatic Sea with Samson and Renier. And so when Samson does ride forth, she is one of the many dozens of knights that rolls behind him up onto the shore of Croatia. And thus, that cutscene is over. And we find Samson and Renier with Bradamant, cloaked here as in the picture, and the number of their knights riding onto the shores to meet Viseslav. Viseslav sees Samson ride up onto the shore. "Ah! You! I dare say Francia arrives not unforeseen. What business do you have here on my shores? I hear that northern Italy is not pacified and that your former dukes and knights fled to the east and now count themselves among the number of the Byzantines. Is that not right, Samson of Verdun and Renier Legree?" You guys might be surprised that he knows your names, but Viseslav is the man who's girth is not only broad in real life, but his influence over the world is also broad. Go ahead.
Samson goes up, kind of shows his hands open that he means no ill intent. Hail, King, it is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, and of course nothing could escape your gaze as we come peacefully and wish to treat with you. I am here, as you already know, representing Duke Renier of Lombard, and we are here to speak with you. But first I wish to compliment you on this retinue assembled, and your kingdom is something that the bards have truly not done a good job of describing. It is quite beautiful, my grace.
My shores are rocky and barren, of vineyards unlike your land, Samson. Do not try to flatter me. I know what we have here, but it is a land earned by men strong of heart, strong of arm, and men whose large cocks spread their seed from coast to coast.
Well, if that is the case, my lord, then you and Duke Renier will get along wonderfully.
Ah! He laughs. It's not unlike Robert Baratheon, right? Upon his horse, he just laughs, and one of his men brings him a wineskin. He drinks deeply and fully. Here! Share some with the men of Francia, northern Italy. It's time they tasted our harsh swill.
Samson will take one if offered and take a giant pull off of it to show that he ain't no pussy.
Yeah, you guys can roleplay with you. It's pretty real bad. It's real bad. Way overly fermented. The alcohol content is insane. It's basically liquor, not wine.
An excellent vintage, your grace. I'm sure it makes the young ones strong and full of vigor.
Renier.
Yeah, Renee is kind of in the back, just watching without saying much, and he takes the wineskin and brings it to his lips, and at this point he's been in northern Italy for, I can't remember exactly how long, but months at least, and he takes a drink and probably can't help but wince, and he's like, oh yes, this is will make men out of you, that is for sure, and you must have strong men if this is what they drink, your grace.
Ah! Yes! And not only men, but the women! You will find them stout. Yeah, they bear me many children. But alas, Samson and Renier. The Lord shines brightly upon mine house as it does yours. But alas, we have one enemy in common. The Byzantines, who have besieged the capital of Hungary many leagues from here. But is it to aid my own small house that you have come? Nay! The Pope does not send his servants so lightly. You must have other reasons for sailing to my shores than to face the Byzantines. For your army by itself is too small to defeat them.
I would not count Sir Samson out of any battle, sir. But yes, you are correct. Samson, this man we seek. Please tell the king.
Yes, my duke, and he kind of like turns to look at him. He's like, gives him you dirty motherfucker eyes, but turns back to King Viseslav. Yes, my king, we are here to negotiate the release of one of King Charlemagne's paladins. His name is Sir Rogero. Perhaps you are aware of him. We were told he was currently in your custody, being treated well, no doubt. But that does not mean once we have secured his release that we could not assist, if not the have mutual foes in the Byzantines, especially if they're attacking a castle within Hungary, no?
Viseslav hesitates for a moment after you mention Rogero's name, and his stout form sits with a straight back, and he strokes his thick beard while one of his men comes up and speaks a few words into his right ear. Viseslav then with his left hand scratches his head. It's an unhelmeted head showing long dark locks of curly blonde hair. Rogero! Indeed, he is in our dungeons. He was arrested. A Saracen spy he is, and yet you say otherwise. What proof do you bring of his innocence?
I know he is a paladin of King Charlemagne, that is for sure. He was a Saracen at one point and worshipped God incorrectly, but I do know he has been converted to Christianity and has served both God and country with equal vim and vigor. If you're asking me, do I have any sort of proof he is a paladin, other than the word of Duke Renier, that I do not have at this time.
King Charlemagne does not lie, and King Charlemagne has asked us to do this thing, and he is my king, and I obey him in all things.
As you say that, a knight rolls up in between you, very tall, but slightly more slender than most of the knights in your entourage. And he hands out a scroll to you, Samson. And the wind is whipping and the surf is roaring, and you can't quite make out the voice, but it sounds a little bit feminine. My lord, word from the Pope and Charlemagne. Hand Samson a scroll. If you look at it, which of you can read? Either one of you?
Hell no. That's what my chaplain is for. I ain't got time to read, but
Well,
he will look at it.
Knight Sir Bradamant hands it to you, kind of retreats back to the other knights.
Samson looks at it, faking that he can read, looking at it, and gives kind of the, interesting kind of thing, before, handing it to one of his lackeys, who takes it up to one of the king's lackeys, who hands it either to the king or whoever the king deems necessary to have it read it to him.
Yeah. Viseslav looks at it and then looks back up to Samson and Renier.
Is it Lang?
Pope.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He goes, Pope Adrian himself signed this? This is his seal? He's looking at you to confirm or not.
Well, we know his seal, I would assume we do.
Yeah. It looks like it's the seal.
It is the seal of the Pope. Yes, it is, Your Grace.
Viseslav kind of gives it back to Samson and then whispers something to his man. But in the meantime, Rogero, you have crawled out of the dungeons. Roleplay to me how you kind of bypass all the guards, and as you kind of come out of the dungeons, you're like on one of these cliffs, and you see these the houses of Franklin in northern Italy kind of sailing up onto the shore, and you see freedom just within your grasp. If you can just make it to them. And roleplay what it looks like as you kind of come down through the shores to greet those who can vouch for you that you are baptized and you're a Christian.
Once the light through the little window passes as another cloud covers it. Rogero gets off his knees and looks back. Darko Ivan is no longer there. He has left. And all that remains is a puddle of piss where his bravery gave away. Rogero smiles to himself and slowly creeps out. Creeps out of his cell. He makes his way through the corridors of the dungeon. Every so often a stray guard passes by, but Rogero is so thin and frail at this point that just sticking to the walls, he is just but a shadow. He does not know where he's going, and eventually, through his faith and belief, and that is what he thinks it is, that he finds a small ray of light again, and he follows that, keeps following before the ray finally becomes the bright sun. And he's on what looks like a battlement of the castle, looking down onto the shore, and he sees the ships. He knows it is his time. He knows he must make it to that shore, or he would be forever lost. He scales down the walls, a couple of times losing his footing, but he catches himself just in time before he can get hurt, gets onto the ground and starts running through the fields. Only his loincloth around him, the loincloth flailing in the air, running towards the ships. Freedom.
Wait, you have to talk about your huge cock swinging in the air, apparently.
Well, if the loincloth is flailing, you can only imagine what's happening.
I'm trying to give you guys some more check marks. So wasn't Samson or Renier give me an awareness?
Common skill.
Nails.
I'm busy talking to the king, and I have a check mark in awareness already.
Not me.
Viseslav is speaking with Samson and Renier there on the shore when Rogero starts to run down. And as Rogero kind of comes down across the beach through the ranks of the Croatians, they part. Samson and Renier, you do not hear it, but behind you, you hear just murmurs. There's more of a hush that falls over the nights than anything else. And as you look up, you see a dark-clad man with sunken eyes and cheekbones standing on the beach. Viseslav turns to his right, and he says, "Ah, as Providence would have it. Ask, Samson of Verdun, and the Lord God shall provide. Mine and my house do ask your pardon for this mistake. Alas, you could see how we could make such an error. We are beset by all sides. To the north there are pagans, and to the south heathens, and to the east the Byzantines, which chew up chunks and chunks of the Hungarian Empire and grow closer to my kingdom. I thought that Rogero was a threat, but the Lord has seen it fit that he has survived mine dungeons, and now stands before us, clad only in a loincloth, on this fated beach." He kind of calls out, "Rogero! Your people have come! What say you?"
Rogero looks between Viseslav and the two knights. His eyes are squinted and he cannot make out much. "I am Rogero, and that is what I have been saying for weeks. I only speak the truth, because that is what is expected of a paladin of Charlemagne. Yes, you have erred, King Viseslav, but I do understand the reasons why you have done this. These are trying times, as you have said, and one who looks like me does cast suspicion in your lands. Like my lord, if I am truly his servant and student, then I too must learn forgiveness. And maybe this is my test. So I hold no ill will to you, King Viseslav. I hold no ill will. All is well.
Viseslav inclines his head to Rogero. Well then, I dare say we need to put some meat back upon your bones. Hi! This evening we feast! Sir Samson, Sir Renier, you are welcome under my roofs, along with your knights. And then perhaps we will get the full measure of your visit. And perhaps you can aid me in my struggles to the east.
Yeah, Duke Legree nods and says, "We would be honored, my king." Or, "Your Grace," he would say. Sorry, not my king. And he will dismount and begin to, or actually probably would canter his horse up next to Viseslav's and kind of ride with him towards his hall.
Of course, my duke. You go on ahead. I will see to the men. You son of a bitch. And he kind of turns towards this mostly naked, dark-skinned paladin. I assume you are Rogero, you are Rogero, I presume, based on both the words and the look. Please, let us get you some clothes and get you some food in your belly, and you can tell me what has happened to you during your internment here in Croatia. Yes, I know. It all is very troubling. You're very quiet. Here, have some food.
Oh, sorry. Rogero looks up and he says, "I thank you, Sir Samson. Your kindness shall not be forgotten. You truly are a knight. I would like to bathe first before I eat. I have been hanging from the dungeons for 3 weeks, and I do stink of untold treacheries."
Whatever you need, you shall have it. As a paladin of Charlemagne, clearly you are due this respect. Please, when we set up camp outside the walls, you can clean up there, and I have a great many clothes that they won't fit you exactly. They'll be a little large on someone of your frame, but I'm sure we can get you accommodated.
Thank you, thank you.
With that, kind of, Samson will go off and see to it that the men get situated and eventually get some clothes or something for Rogero and get him cleaned up for whatever feast Viseslav has planned.
Any role play you guys want to do as you guys are kind of landing in Croatia and getting your men settled and heading into the palace for a meal and whatnot?
Yeah, so Rogero, he's gonna find a tent assigned to him, and he is gonna clean up. He's definitely gonna wear some of the clothes that Samson has given him. Rogero will also, talk to one of some knights that he might see, and he requests them to talk to the necessary people in the palace to get Rogero's armor and his sword, all of things which were taken from him, so that he may wear it for the feast tonight and be seen as his true form, a true knight.
Yeah, and they bring that stuff to you, apologizing profusely. And one of them even is your torturer, Darko. And he brings to you your chainmail and your sword. It is a magic sword by the name of Balasard that you obtained from a ferry over in England on one of your many adventures, Rogero. But Mr. Darko, Ivan, brings it to you, and he profusely thanks you for sparing his life in the dungeon. He says, "It was a truly Christian act, Rogero. I make life unpleasant for the enemies of the king. It is my job. But you resisted me to the last. What if I could meet this dame of yours, this fair maiden, who has inspired you to remain alive, unscathed in spirit, through such trying times? She must be a maiden indeed, most glorious."
Yes, she is. It is difficult to speak about her without being completely entranced with her. She is my strength. But more than that, Darko Ivan, she is the light to me. You should be more honorable in your life. Why be in the dungeons and be a torturer? Why not be out there in your lands, fighting for those who cannot fight for themselves? Use this life I have given you to do some justice in this world. You can serve your king in many ways. Being a person of the dungeon is just one, a lowly one at that. Find your higher calling, Darko Ivan. Then use the second life I've given you.
He nods and scurries away, and you get another 10 glory, helping Darko find the path to Christ again after his violent and disruptive occupation. Give me an awareness, Rogero. Awareness. It's a common skill.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Very good. Give yourself a check mark in awareness.
Okay. Where do I add glory?
Oh, I did automatically.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
got
okay.
his
Jim.
back.
Jim. Yeah, I got you. Roleplay what looks like as you kind of turn around from speaking with Darko, and is as if a knight is standing behind you, one of the Frankish knights. But as you turn around, they are leaving and walking away. And walking away, you seem to note that golden hair at the back of the head just seems so familiar with you. But as you chase this person, because it's Bradamant, as you chase this person, he or she has disappeared down the hallway of flickering torchlight as the feast is about ready to start.
Yeah, so Rogero, he's just about fasten the chainmail, and then he wears the plate armor. He puts his sword in its scabbard, makes sure it's clean, and pats it. He is glad it is by his side again. The sword is slightly unique. It is not a It's not a regular broadsword. It looks like something in between a scimitar and a broadsword. And then as he's finishing the final fittings, he feels like a familiar presence behind his back. Almost like a breath on his neck. And he whips around and he sees the receding form of a knight. At first, as this form recedes, he is a little puzzled, but then he sees a lock of golden hair just wink in and out underneath the armor, and then he starts running. And the knight in front starts running and starts zigzagging through the tents, jostling a few other knights coming in and out. Soon Rogero is winded, he is fatigued, and he cannot keep up. Eventually he stops, surrounded by tents, looking up at the sky, and he's not sure if he was chasing his beloved or if it was just a mirage. And he shakes his head and smiles to himself. Just the thought of her fills his heart with cheer and hope. And then he starts making his way towards the castle, towards the feast. Righteous again, in the eyes of his God, the eyes of his love, and the eyes of his fellow man.
Very nice. Renier and Samson, anything?
The only thing Samson's going to do, his spy master was in town. He is going to thank him for his service in terms of finding out information on King Viseslav, and then task him with locating this. How far away is the besieged castle in Hungary?
A couple 100 miles, I'd say. Pretty, week or so.
He's going to give him a fat stack of coin and perhaps a horse, and send him on his way to start reconning the area and making it basically seem like he's a genius for knowing the area, and maybe perhaps getting troop forces of the Byzantines or whoever, and where they're located, and disposition and avenues of attack or terrain features, basically intel gathering in the largest sense.
You want to make that roll now? Intrigue?
Yeah, what do you want? Yeah, let me see. Guess I'll have to do it off his. Let me see what his intrigue is. Ugh, my intrigue's much better. His is 10. Alrighty, I'll roll 1d20. Nope.
All right.
Yeah, Renier
Renier.
is he's essentially just buttering up Viseslav, and carousing with him, trying not to drink as much as the Croatians, but he talks about his beautiful Italian wife, and kind of gives the story of how he destroyed the rebels of Spoleto and the other counties, and they basically trading war stories. How he's a self-made duke, like this guy's a self-made king, that sort of thing.
Yeah, give me courtesy.
Okay, let's see.
You already have a check in it. Jeez.
Oh, I do. This is +4 or 5. What's my glory?
Their glory is 5,154.
Plus 5.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good. Why don't you give yourself a point then?
All right.
Tell me how you and Viseslav become fast friends quickly.
Yeah, Viseslav. I'm remembering last time that you said he was kind of self-made man as well.
Yep.
And took over this area through, force and political shrewdness and Rene talks about similar things that he has done, and his more or less low big station in life as birth to a common knight, and raising himself up to a duke and of Charlemagne. And he also is happy to say, I could not have done it without my friends Samson and the late William, two of the truest knights you will ever meet. And yeah.
You have had several years of well, I dare say it's a miracle that you are alive, Renier.
You have no idea. The god has looked favorably upon us, Samson and I.
From a small manor in, what is it called, Edinburgh, to Spoleto. It must be quite a journey. Perhaps in my old age, when my many sons take the crown that currently weighs heavy upon my head, I will ride to northern Italy and perhaps even northward along the Rhine and visit Edinburgh and the rest of Francia.
You would be most
Between
welcome.
you and... Yes, between you and me, this wine is near poison.
He looks down at the goblet and yes, we in Spoleto we have some of the best winemakers of the entire Lombard and even I would say throughout Francia. And I cannot remember the winemaker's name, of course.
Oh, I will find it. I'll find it. Crispin Malucci.
Crispin Malucci. He is will be world renowned, so for certain.
This guy's been coming up for 3 sessions straight.
I can never remember his name even like 5 minutes after you say it.
Sir Crispin, man, he makes the booze.
Yeah,
He's everybody's friend.
Oh, he's going to be a count. That's right.
Yep. Anything else?
No.
All right. I got a bathroom real quick. Take 5 minutes.
Okay.
What?
There's like 1 billion NPCs in this game.
That's right. We killed off one PC as soon as he married a NPC, and now I have to have that NPC marry my NPC brother.
No.
Fuck yes, it's gonna happen. You watch.
Why would you do that to your brother? Your poor NPC brother.
Because I want her castle and lands to go to my brother. Some people just care about their family.
I'm gonna have to go visit Ermeline and the nunnery.
Well, because your attractive Italian wife isn't good enough.
Correct. I gotta marry off my sister. She's like 24 or something.
I offered my... Oh, she's 24, never mind. I was going to say I offered my brother a long time ago, but you thought that wasn't good enough.
She's a good girl. Merwig. You can have Theolinda for your brother.
Yeah, you don't like her. She's married to God.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to have any more kids this session.
Find a way to fast forward it.
Yeah.
X has been talking this whole time, but forgot he was on mute.
Yeah. Still on mute. Oh my god, I am tired.
Yeah,
What's up?
these last 2 weeks have been like no breaks. Like Monday, Taekwondo, Tuesday, City Council, Wednesday, Ben's birthday party at the house, Thursday, Taekwondo, Friday, volunteering for the fair at the school, Saturday, all his friends' birthday party, and then Sunday I got something for the American Legion.
Elena Vietti. I gotta change my kid's name. I can't even pronounce it.
That's because you don't care about your children. You just care about making them. You're a white trash father.
I only have 1, 2, 3. Wait. Son of Aelswith. What did you name him?
Theodard.
Theodard?
Yep. Theodard.
Okay.
Something like divine blessing or something.
Do you know what year he was born in?
He was born in 777. Let me double check that.
Yeah, it sounds right.
$777. He is a triplet, wink wink, of me and Cheofrith, and totally not the princess or the daughter of the King of Wessex.
Yeah. He's in my official family tree, so I don't forget him. Let's see. 1, 2,
No, you need to forget him if you know what's
5,
good for
6,
you.
7, 8, 9. 9 kids. The worst thing imaginable. 9 kids. But, you know.
You're just really making a strong case to be the knight for my son, oldest bastard, to squire with.
He already is my squire, right?
I never agreed to it yet.
I thought,
He probably will.
well, I mean, that would be such an honor for you and your family, your meager family to.
That's we do just
Squire
fine in the
for the
slave
Duke.
trade, thank you. I have a giant castle. Do you have a giant castle?
I have a duchy. Do you have a duchy?
One that's half in rebellion.
No, not my duchy. My duchy is happy. They love me. The people love me because I give them free stuff.
You only can give them...
You can make a rap video in like plate mail armor called "Not My Duchy."
Boats and hoes.
Yeah.
I've been monogamous for like 3 to 6 months.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, let's see. That's been longer than that.
Yeah.
Because
a year.
you knocked up Aelswith, yeah. Theodard's probably by this point like 2 months old, so that means you've made it 11 months without committing adultery.
Yeah. I don't think I actually ever committed adultery when I was married before. Besides the 3-way with what's her face, and I got them both pregnant at the same time. I mean, what a man.
I like most good Frankish knights believe in
Oh yeah, is that why you have syphilis?
that was
You killed
Bo's
your wife?
bullshit table of contents. That was Bo's fault. Just because my character has syphilis doesn't mean anything. You got face herpes and
Yeah,
had to
but that
go
was for
bathe
fighting
in
a
the water.
witch. God healed it. Did God
Yeah,
heal
well-
your syphilis?
No, but I killed a demon. So did you?
What demon?
I killed the demon that got summoned by the witch.
Oh, I don't remember that. I had face herpes at the time.
Yeah, you were too busy screaming with weeping sores on your face.
Wasn't one of the spells that she cast like impotence?
She tried. She tried. Yep, it works. She
Alright, good.
tried to make me sterile, and my love of Christ prevented that, and then gave you face herpes, and then I cut the demon's head off.
Well, I don't have face herpes now. Just genital herpes.
You good?
Yep,
Good.
we're reminiscing.
Reminiscing about syphilis.
Yeah.
No. No. Killing a demon and not letting it sterilize me.
We'll have to start making some syphilis rolls every winter.
I just gotta go dip my balls in St. Barbara's well.
You might have to. There's no other choice. St. Barbara has a healing vag.
That's right.
All right, what does it look like as Renier enters the feast hall?
Renee enters the feast
there.
hall. He is dressed
Yeah.
Appropriately for such a thing, and he comes in and he Viseslav has a wife or something. He would go over to her and very properly take her hand and bow. It is good to meet you, my lady. And he walks over to Viseslav and kind of smacks him on the shoulder and says, "Are you drinking wine tonight?"
Ha! Wine? Nay. It's really hard to fuck up a good ale. Here, have some of this, and for your nights as well. As much as you can drink, we have hard business to discuss, Sir Renier.
Yes, and he will drink. He sees Rogero
And,
kind of for the first time a bit, and
Yeah, he goes,
Where's the Saracen, or the Paladin? He should have a seat of honor near yourself.
yes, I do not know. He kind of looks around, looking for the dark-skinned one in the middle of pale faces everywhere.
And through the crowd, through the door, comes Rogero. He is clad in knightly armor, though the armor seems to be not as tight around his body. It does move a little, creating a clink as he walks. He sees the head table, he sees the king, and he sees Duke Renier, and he starts making his way to them. Finally, he gets to the table and he looks to Viseslav and he bows. "It is good to meet each other, King Viseslav, in the most righteous of manner." And then he turns around and bows to Duke Renier. "We are well met, Duke Renier."
Bows back. Paladin Rogero, the honor is all mine. And he looks for Samson.
Samson enters in. He is no longer in his armor, feeling confident in the guest right being shown by the king. He comes in very extravagant wear, an ermine cloak, his surcoat, that of his house, the black and red, with the red eagle blazed upon his surcoat. He looks very much the noble, and that he belongs among them, even though in reality he's nothing more than a vassal knight that happens to be a good field commander. Maybe not really an air of superiority about him, but his size kind of lends to his ego, as he's most likely, with the exception of the king, one of the largest men in the hall.
with the exception of the king. Rogero, give me a courtesy roll, and you get to add +7 to your roll because of how much glory you have.
Sheesh.
Not a crit, but pretty good. Yeah, Viseslav greets you, and he inclines his head. Knowing the might of Francia, he even says,
Ugh! My deepest apologies, Rogero. Darko Ivan has already come to my bedchamber as I was getting ready this evening. Can you ever forgive me? We did think you were an enemy not only of my new nation, but of Christendom itself.
while he's getting ready.
What is past, King Viseslav. I am here now. A friend to you and to your kingdom. A friend
Yes.
to the Duke here and his man, Sir Samson.
Make yourself at home. Make yourself welcome and drink your fill, Rogero of many nations. So it seems that your tales are true. You have traveled from the British Isles to the lands of fire far to the south, and to the east as far as India. One day over ales we will talk about such things, Rogero. But this night I have business with your countrymen.
Rogero bows and sits at the table and grabs a leg of meat, picks up a glass of ale and some bread and starts eating while he watches the Duke and the King speak.
Yeah, Renee.
Here you go.
What is that? It's a feast. Feast on a castle.
It's feast.
Man, that really immerses me. He talks to the king. Says, "So we are here at your feast. We have collected our man. It is my intention to return back to Spoleto in short order."
Why so soon, Renier Legree? We have only just become friends. And your Paladin Rogero is none worse for the wear?
It is no offense, Your Grace, but it is I have not been given instructions to do anything else. I know that you may have me help defend your nation against the Byzantines, and trust me, they are a pain in our side as well, and Italy, but King Charlemagne has not told me to do such. And as you have rightly seen, we have not brought men to a full-scale war.
Viseslav himself grabs a leg of meat and shoves it into his face after biting hard down on some cherry tomatoes as the juice runs out over his thick blonde beard.
You did not get to your station, Renier Legree. By being managed by your king, nay. You took initiative, you took control. Ingenuity, I say, has led you to where you are. You do not go from a small manor in Francia to a duke in northern Italy by being Slavish.
Well, Your Grace, now that I am a duke, I wonder what it gets me to take a small army across hundreds of miles of unknown terrain against your enemies.
Our enemies for now, Renier Legree. But it's yours soon to come. Here!
He kind of beckons to his steward. His steward brings a big map kind of over to the table, and Viseslav has to move all of his refuse out of the way. A couple goblets of empty wine and ale, and a whole plate of what looks to be rib bones kind of gets them out of the way and puts the map on there.
This was Byzantine territory when I took the coast here of Croatia.
This is the Byzantine territory now. And you can see there's like huge swaths of territory taken up by the Byzantines.
Prince Leo has the reputation of an honorable man. But if he takes the capital of Hungary, it's not only Croatia that will be next to fall. The Byzantines will have resources to strike into the heart of Europe. Into Francia.
He kind of points, his finger traces away like up through Croatia, up kind of into through the Balkans, right into Francia.
King Leo, you say? King Leo leads the Byzantines through your lands against Hungary?
Aye, Prince Leo? His father, Constantine, by all accounts, is a coward, but his prince... Well, he may be soft and bookish, but he has a reputation as a man that is fair. One given to courtly matters and...
Oh my gosh, I'm having a stroke. Knightly
chivalry. And chivalry.
Well, I have heard of Prince Leo as well, and what you say is true. Maybe a show of might, of paladins and knights standing together, might make him rethink.
Indeed. One small matter.
But what you say is true, King Viseslav. But what the Duke Renier says is true as well. He has come to your lands. He is not in his lands, so for him to take his army to fight your battles, he too must get something out of it.
Viseslav looks at Renier and Samson. What's Samson doing?
Samson was hobnobbing, but if he was motioned over to look at the map, he would come over and look. And if I may, Your Grace, while the Duke is bound by the orders of the King and what he is allowed to do, I perhaps am simply a questing knight. I could be seen as perhaps a mercenary brought on to assist you in relieving the besieged Hungarians, huh?
Yes. Well, there is the military matter. And though your army is not large, accompanied with mine against the Byzantines who are already besieging a rather large city of Budapest, I dare say we could make them think twice about things. And as for you, what you get out of it? Well, this could disrupt a potential allyship between the Byzantines and the houses of Francia. It is rumored that Prince Leo was promised to the daughter of Count Aemon of Aachen, a dame known only as Bradamant.
Well, Prince Leo must first prove he is worthy of such a betrothal. Maybe He needs to show his valor.
Perhaps so. But why would he not be worthy? A prince is quite a match for the daughter of a count. As fair as she is rumored to be. The fathers of houses such as mine, dear Rogero, care more for alliances and maps than the amor of their daughters.
But the tales of Bradamant speak of no ordinary daughter, King Viseslav. Her tales are legendary amongst her lands.
You know of this Bradamant?
She is a warrior unequaled, a fair maiden, as I've heard.
Yeah, when you say warrior unequaled, he kind of scrunches his face and looks to Samson. Did you say warrior unequaled? A woman?
I have never heard of such a thing.
It is such a thing. I do not lie, for I am Rogero. The tales from her land does speak so, and I've heard many an account. And Rogero gives like a sly smile.
Kind of scratches his chin. Interesting. Well, I suppose we should figure out what we will do here.
I would like to assist Sir Samson in his quest. I think his idea has merit. If we are just mercenaries of King Viseslav, there is no negative view of our King Charlemagne.
Well, if we do not go into war as an official Frankish or Lombard force, then yes. We would expect half the spoils.
I'm assuming saying that to King Viseslav, right?
Viseslav, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Renier, give me intrigue or courtesy.
Let's see. Courtesy. I'm gonna have to do courtesy, even though I have a check in it. But yep.
So you make it sound when you say that, like as it's absolutely in Viseslav's best interest. It probably is. Half the spoils is probably not a bad deal for him.
Yeah, very well. I rid my eastern border of the Byzantines, and you fill your coffers, Renier Legree. And at the same time, perhaps do away with a potential alliance between the Byzantines and some of the houses of Francia. And if you ever need a friend here across the Adriatic, well, my table will always be open. Although we do wish to maintain our independence.
Yes. I wonder. He kind of considers. From when we sent our spies forward, he has adult children? Is that right?
Viseslav? Yeah.
They married.
Yeah, we'll say they are.
No one wants your daughter or sister.
Yeah. Yeah, he says, then it is agreed upon. Samson, if you could take our armies into battle, I would appreciate this. You are the greatest warlord and military leader that I have ever known, besides the king himself. The glory will be yours.
I am humbled by your praise, and I will do my best to make these Byzantines pay for their transgressions against both, eventually, if not already, the King of Croatia and those in Hungary.
And Rogero, you will stand by our side? Yes?
You're muted.
Hey, damn, sorry, dude. I said my line. And I'm like, shit. Why is there no response? Yeah. So Rogero looks at both of you. Yes, I will stand by your side, Sir Samson, and yours, Duke Renier, and by your side, King Viseslav. Rogero owes you an honor, a debt of honor, O Duke. And our friendship, King Viseslav, shall go into time.
Alas! Let us drink, one and all. The love of God reigns over this hall. My misdeeds are forgiven, as are all of yours. Let us sleep soundly tonight in the love of Christ. For tomorrow we assemble an army and ride forth to do battle with the enemies that would do us harm and see an end to our way of life. Hear, hear!
Here,
For Rogero, Paladin of Francia. For Samson of Verdun, Captain of Men. And Duke Renier Legree of Spoleto. Hear, hear!
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Anything else to take it away? Otherwise, we'll have a quick scene.
No.
Good.
no, quick scene.
After the celebration is over, Rogero is walking to his room when he hears footsteps behind him. Pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. What do you do?
You muted again.
He forgets he's on mute.
Damn it. Yeah,
It's
so...
okay.
No, the problem is I've already started speaking, not realizing that I'm still on mute. So Rogero stops in his tracks and wonders if somebody in the castle tonight still does not believe his story, does not believe that Rogero is who he says he is. He waits motionless, and as the sound gets closer, he whips around and starts rushing towards it. This time hoping that whoever it is not able to get away from him again.
You reach where you seem to have heard the footsteps, and the hushed footsteps seems to have stopped. The scene is very much like the one here, with marble pillars and an echoing hall. And everywhere you turn, Rogero, you hear echo of somebody breathing and footsteps. Give me a unarmed combat check.
Okay. No.
You probably have to roll off of your sheet.
Oh, I just did 715.
That's good.
Oh, that's fine. Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
You actually win. What does it look like as you get in a tussle in the dark with a form? and you get the upper hand and you pull their hood back.
Wait, do I win?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a 2 versus 7.
Yep.
Closest to
the
closest
person
to the
closest.
target.
Oh, closest to the target. I see.
That
Okay.
one.
Well, yeah, what it looks like is you like wrestle him in the dark, you tear the hood off, and it's Bradamant.
And so Rogero is tussling. Sometimes he gets a little too physical. Eventually, he's able to catch a hold of the hand of the slithering individual person, and he pulls the hand back, twists it, and then turns the person around. And in that single motion, he pulls their hood back to reveal it's Bradamant, and he lets go quickly and takes a couple of steps back. Lady Bradamant, I am sorry.
I am certainly not sorry. There, Rogero. Come hither.
She beckons Rogero forward and tries to grab him and plant a deep kiss.
Rogero, he just he smiles and kisses her back. It has been so long since we have seen each other. Weeks in a dungeon. But it has all been worthwhile to see your face again.
She looks up at Rogero. He kind of pulls him into the shadows where nobody can see them. Every now and then, like she starts to talk, and like somebody walks forward. Maybe Renier and Samson are heading back to their rooms, right? And they just wait till they pass. And Bradamant says,
I have traveled from Frankfurt to Rome, across the Adriatic Sea, and now to see your face. I have never been more happy, though the angels and the hosts of the Lord are light upon my shoulder. You are what I desire, Rogero. Now, let us leave this place.
No, my love, we must stay. For I believe I have a way for us to be together forever. We are here at the most opportune of time. King Viseslav wishes to march his army against Prince Leo. The Duke of Spoleto is here, and so is his man Sir Samson and their army. I think if we join them, you still hidden as a knight and me as the Paladin of King Charlemagne, there might be an opportunity for me to challenge Prince Leo in combat. And if I win your hand the right way, as our Lord would have it, and as our station would have it. What say you?
She steps into the light and she looks at you.
I will follow you to the ends of the earth, Adieu, Rogero. And if this is your desire to face Prince Leo in combat, then I will be behind you.
She kind of turns around.
Would you have me hide my face? Still, as a coward? I care not for my father, Lord Amon, knows not my heart. Only you, dear Rogero, knows that my heart beats for thee beneath thy heaving bosom.
It is only for a short while that I ask you to do this. The Duke and Sir Samson have just arrived over a long journey. They have much to consider. Me, a Saracen, born again Christian, in strange lands, fighting an army that they did not expect. If we reveal you, it might be too much. Let the battle commence. Take the opportunity to show your valor. And when I best Leo, come forward. Challenge me. We shall fight. And they can see your true might. And it'll not just be my words that has to convince them. Your actions will be enough.
I see the wisdom of the Lord is upon your brow, my dear Rogero. I take your words and I shall obey. Lost, I fade into the shadow this night. And in a fortnight we will share a bedchamber together beneath a wedding veil.
She kind of goes towards and puts her finger on Rogero's lips. And goes,
Just go.
and she fades into the shadows. And you hear that pitter-patter of those velvet steps as she runs up one of the marble staircases in Viseslav's palace.
My heart aches. But it will be for a short while. We shall be together again.
Rogero retires to his bedchamber with blue balls. What does
Very blue
Samson?
balls.
What does Samson and Renier do?
Samson would have basically spent the evening ass-kissing, like either courtesy or intrigue, making friends amongst the Croatians.
Yeah, probably similar. Renee, well, let me do a roll, I guess. Lustful versus chase. 13. He would keep it together. No funny business.
And we'll go after Viseslav's stout wife.
No, thank you.
If nothing else, we'll kind of fast forward a couple weeks as you guys kind of prepare to head out.
Yep.
All right. All right, tell me guys what happens over the next week and a half as you guys kind of prepare and set out from the Adriatic coast east into Hungary towards Budapest, where Prince Leo of the Byzantines have laid siege for the last 6 months to Budapest.
Renee has his, probably not a steward, but someone to write a letter from him to Charlemagne, informing him that they have joined King Viseslav as a mercenary force to help push back the Byzantines, and kind of explains that he'll share part of their booty with him, and that this should help them in the long run. So, just so he knows.
Walter Peck had a disconnect or something. He'll be back.
He'll be back.
He's back.
I'm back.
No, he just kind of role playing like the next week and a half as you guys prepare your armies to kind of march to the east.
So, over the last week or so, Samson has spent the time preparing the men, drilling them, finding out, kind of getting the measure of the Croatian forces, getting an idea of the lay of the land, possibly what they might be up against, any advantageous or disadvantageous positions to fight from. And with that, he kind of maybe does a little practice with the Paladin to see what his mettle is, to know if he can count on him as a champion. Once the battle comes, as the standard levies would look to people like a Paladin or individual of that caliber to raise their morale.
Rogero
so
for... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Yep, yeah. Let's have that scene.
So Rogero, for his part, for the past week and a half, he's been ensuring that he eats like 4 square meals, trying to build up all of that strength and muscle that he lost in the dungeons. He walks about the field preparing himself. Whenever he meets Samson, they have a friendly duel. Samson is a worthy opponent. As he helps Rogero find the strength he seems to have lost, that little edge that he seems to have lost. And as the day grows closer to their marching, Rogero comes back to his full strength. There is a glint in his eye. He knows he is now ready to do his Lord's work again and stand by his fellow man. Though they may look different than him, they do nonetheless fight a worthy cause. And as the day draws near, he walks through the camp. He greets each platoon of people, shakes their hands like brothers, and talks about the battle to come. Your courage and your strength, that is what will get you across the line when the time comes. Our belief in our Lord is through love. We do everything in His name through love. How can our actions be wrong when it's done in the name of love? Do not fear the enemy that you are about to see, for they do not know why they are here, and I know them. They are far from their lands. And when they are far from their lands, their morale is low. If we are steady and we are sure, unyielding and unwavering in our quest, then there is no enemy that will withstand us, and all will crumble in our path. Be brave, my brothers, be brave. Hear, hear. Yep, that's it.
Give me an eloquence, and you get a +7.
Oh yeah. That's under courtesy skills, right? Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Courtly.
Eloquence, 7.
All your stats are real good.
Ooh, that was close. Nice.
Is that crit?
That's a crit.
Ooh, wow.
It's a crit. How does Samson react to that, seeing him not only regain his strength and show martial skill, but also inspiring the others as only Roland or Oliver could do?
He understands now why he is a paladin, for not only his skill that he showed with a blade in their sparring as he slowly came back to health, but the skill of his words to encourage and embolden the standard soldier, hopefully into feats that they don't normally have the capability of doing. And he finds himself stirred by the speech, ready to take on whatever the Byzantines may have.
and you set off to the east towards Budapest, and you ride for 4 days. When at one point you hear the clip clop, clip clop, clip clop, and then running hooves heading in your direction, and it is the night that Samson set out as his spy or scout. Right?
My spy, Morellis. Yep.
Yeah, the one that failed.
Exactly.
So he comes back. My lord! Lord Samson, I have news to report.
Speak.
All news is not ill, although I wish I did have more glad tidings. The enemy far outnumber us. I was able to broker no weakness in their lines, and all their men, to an individual, are loyal to Prince Leo. This man, as soft though he be, seems to demand some sort of loyalty to his men. I know not how. He is not as large as yourself or as handsome as Renier, but they do have his loyalty. On the other hand, they have besieged Budapest for nigh on 6 months. Though they outnumber us, their men are injured, sick, and weak, all of them. I think that if we engage them in open battle, just due to their numbers, we would suffer heavy losses but be victorious. But perhaps a play can be made on Prince Constantine's honor. Seeing as weak though he is, and though his men is, I recommend other options. Perhaps intrigue or a duel.
Thank you for your counsel. It will be taken under consideration. And he kind of thinks for a moment. Tell me, how well guarded are their provisions? Surely if they have been sieging for 6 months, they should be running low as illness spreads throughout the camp?
Yes, provisions are running low, but they are well guided, my lord. Guarded. Of course, a well-placed attack could damage them. He looks a little nervous, as if maybe he was run off before he could tell more. He did fill the check.
Very well. When we get closer, I will go and have a look at these supplies and look at their siege lines and decide what the best course of action will be. Well done.
He rides off to water his horse and get some refreshment.
Samson will go over to Rogero and Renier and kind of relay the information. I believe it is wise to take a look. While personal combat is always an option, I do not think they will be so foolish to perhaps end a siege on single combat. But what do I know of the Byzantines?
Is this Leo a religious man?
I would assume, based on the Church of Byzantium, he is one of religion, but that I do not know for sure.
Perhaps he could be goaded into such things with our Paladin here. Challenged by a former Saracen. Would not God favor him in his eyes?
Duke Renier, now I see why you are a duke. Yes, Prince Leo will fall for such a gambit. He's a thinking man, and it would confuse him seeing me challenge him, one of his kind but not of his kind. But we must not forget what Sir Samson has found, and maybe we can use both. If Sir Samson could disrupt the supply lines and I can assist him in that, that would force Prince Leo's hand, make him more amenable when a challenge does appear. And maybe it is I who could challenge him. I am, after all, not of your retinue. I am with your retinue today. If it goes badly, it will not reflect poorly on you and on Sir Samson. And if it goes well, then we can all share in the glory.
Renier nods. Yes. He could use a fight. I will help you with these supply lines.
Excellent. I came to these foreign lands looking for warriors. I haven't found them. God be praised. God be praised.
Over the next 3 days, the army of Viseslav and Frankia ride to the east. They skirt low ranges of hills and rolling grasslands and go through the forests on game paths, taking the extra time to hide their numbers as they come up upon the rear of the Byzantines that are encircling Budapest. They are less than a mile away when they hear, nay, they smell war. They smell battle, the acrid stench of human waste being poured into a river for 6 months of rotten bodies that have been slain by arrows and catapults, of the unwashed masses, the camp followers that have followed the Byzantines to Budapest. And so they come out into a high hill overlooking the armories of Byzantium. Samson, why don't you give me a battle roll?
Success.
Right. Yep, you got it. Partial success. So, tell me what it looks like as your scouts and stuff played cat and mouse, and they do find part of their rear baggage train and their supply lines that are vulnerable that you guys could just smash.
So most of the focus is on the city that they are besieging. However, it is always wise to have a rear guard, but while vastly outnumbered, Samson uses that to the advantage of the Croatians and the Franks, as they are able to be more stealthy and subtle in their approach to one of the most weakest points of a besieging army, that of their baggage train and their supply depots. And through guile and using the terrain to their advantage, they're able to get into a position that would allow them to strike and deal a blow much more severe than any battle could accomplish.
Who's with the sortie that's going out on this
I
this
would
thing?
be there.
Rogero?
Oh, Rogero would be there for sure. God lights my way, and today it shines on Sir Samson.
Bradamant, yes. King's gonna stay back with his hose.
There ain't no time for the girth, yo.
Set it up what it looks like roleplay wise, then we're gonna start the battle music and do this. And combat in this system, Zypher, doesn't take long.
Oh, nice.
Like,
This has been awesome.
a couple rolls.
Sweet. Yeah, Rogero is following Samson. The stench of humanity is growing, and he knows when it's times like this, there is opportunity and there's death. And then they kind of crest a hill, and he's by Samson's side as he sees what Samson is showing him, the weakness in the enemy. That's it.
Samson leads the sortie out, sword drawn, kind of in a low crouch as he approaches the point of no return and sees the enemy before him and how they are unaware, and he kind of thinks back to all the battles in the past, be it the first foray into Italy, fighting the Saxons again, or returning to finish off the Lombards, and knows that God is with them on this day.
Yeah, Rene has a spear. He stays low, crouched with the others, and moves forward.
Samson draws his sword as you guys are kind of all in a forest as the sun sets one evening, and all the camp followers are kind of coming up from the forest to resupply the lines of the Byzantines. And I'm going to let Samson give his battle cry as we go forward.
Samson kind of pulls his sword's already out. He holds it up in the air and looks back to his men and yells, "Unbowed! Charge for Frankia! For Croatia! For God and country!" And then he starts tearing off.
And Rogero screams, "For God and country!" and then charges right behind Sir Samson.
Yeah, Rene brings up the rear, doesn't say anything.
Battalion commander, roll battle.
Alrighty.
That's a success.
Terrible roll.
Unit can engage, remain disengaged, or withdraw to the rear. You can do anything you want. So
We're engaging.
all right, roll battle again for the first charge to see if they get bonuses.
Success.
Regular success.
Yes.
I think that's nothing.
I think that's nothing as well.
I'm gonna do,
Yep, it's nothing on the...
I'm gonna passion myself, I think.
So you can do love Charlemagne to impassion yourself, or Rogero to give yourself some bonuses. Love Charlemagne, success.
+5.
Okay, so love Charlemagne. In which tab is that?
It's in your passions.
Passions. Okay. Yeah. Love Charlemagne. Okay.
Now, I don't know if I have yours set up. Well, looks like I do. Success. That's a +5 to all your rolls.
Okay.
Bradamant's going to do it. Fuck it. See if I have her set up. I do. You hear a feminine voice from somewhere. For God! Samson, are you impassioned?
Oh, I don't feel good about this, but yeah, why not?
Oh my god.
Oh!
Told ya. I should have went no, but you peer pressured me into it.
This is when Chris would say he made you do it.
Yeah, he made you do it.
All right, we're going to do early nights. Everybody, Rogero, roll me a 1d20.
Oh man. Let me just roll a 1.
Oh, a 3? You get a poor knight.
What does that
Things
mean?
suck.
His stats are shit, and his ransom is weak.
Wait,
Do you have it out? Do you have it out? Do you have the thing out?
Yeah, do you need me to read it off to you?
I have the sheet out here, yeah. So it says poor 11 out of 10 is weapon skill, 3d6 damage and stuff like that.
Okay. All right. Hang on a second. Let me do my battle setup here. All right. What's his weapon?
11.
Sword is what? Sword is 11.
Damage
Man, he
3d6.
That's fine, it makes
3.
sense, right, with the story, because
Armor 6, and shield, yes.
Okay. Horse damage is
4d6. But are we on foot then, or what are we on?
you can charge him. 46.
Yep.
All right. Who's next?
wait, so what is this knight? Like, this person is going to be with me in battle?
He's
yeah,
fighting you.
It's kind of like Tor, how they get matched up to you.
Ah, okay.
Yep. Bradamant. Hey! I'm just going to copy and paste that guy. Copy, paste. All right, Samson.
God damn it.
He's like a sergeant. He's pretty good.
Better than me now that I got that -5.
Oh yeah.
All right, what's the
Same
stats?
for me.
Sword what?
Stat is 17.
All right.
Damage 5d6.
Okay.
Armor
Armor.
10. Shield, yes. Rouncy
Okay.
4d6.
You can just copy him because they get the same thing. Oh, I'm not very good at combat, boys.
Same thing.
Yep.
All right. Let's go left to right, huh?
Sure.
Rogero.
Yeah, what should I do? Combat skills?
Yep. You can use a
And-
sword if you want.
Put a +5 in your
Sword.
attack if you.
I see. Sword and +5.
That's a crit.
It's a crit.
That's a crit, and his is gonna suck.
For the crit, you basically can't go above 20. So when you go above 20, you subtract the excess, and if you're over that, you crit.
Partial success. Now
Oh,
you like your magic sword ignores half of all armor combined. So you're probably gonna kill this guy, I'm guessing. So roll your damage.
He crit,
how-
so it's max.
How do I... Okay,
Yep.
and then...
Yeah, just
Oh,
roll,
I see
roll
damage,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, so see how you rolled 8d6. So your damage would be what, 48?
Yeah.
All right, tell me how you just smoked this guy.
Yeah,
you
so,
can
you
do
know...
whatever you want to him.
Yeah. Rogero is charging, and seeing Samson now by his side, he's invigorated, and now the scent of the battle is on. He sees the first knight approach him, but in the distance he sees more knights, and a rage sets over him as he realizes that these people have held the city captive for so long without mercy, and mercy is the way of God. And then in one fell swoop he beheads this knight and continues to charge forward.
Ten glory. Or 5, I'm sorry. Doesn't even matter if you have 7,000 to begin with. Bradamant. I'll let somebody role play what it looks like. Let me roll her stuff. I think she's pretty good with the sword, so. +5. Not quite a crit, but success. And that is a success. Bradamant Does 19 damage. I think they only had 6 armor and a shield, right? So that was a partial success. So how many damage? They rolled 1-6. That's going to be 6. So it's going to negate 12 of it. They're going to take 7. So they will start getting some penalties, though. What does it look like, Rogero, as your girl rides past the dude and wounds him badly?
Yeah, and as Rogero beheads this first knight, he also does it because Bradamant is right behind him, and he knows that she would not have seen this knight because Rogero is in front. He beheads the knight and then deftly moves his horse to the right while Bradamant comes beside him on his left, and then she twitches her horse as another knight comes in between them, and Bradamant just whips her sword around and chops his hand.
Guy's like, ah! And she goes past you and gives you the nod. She's just as fearsome as any other guy, knights. Samson, you're up.
So I'm at -4 in total. Oh, almost a crit. That would have been hilarious.
Talk to beat.
Nope. Got him.
Yay! Partial success. Let's roll some damage. -1 to his shield.
Shield would be gone by 1, and that would be
3 damage.
Yep, only 3 damage.
Are the people we charging on horses?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm just wondering. Because I get a +5 at least, right? If not, or well, that guy should make a dex roll then.
Oh,
that
should.
I hit? Yeah.
Yep, you should.
Don't worry, I always face the most dexterous of opponents.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge with my charger with my spear. +5. Not a crit.
Partial success.
I roll my horse damage, yeah.
Yep.
Where is that on the sheet? Where is that? 66. Where is it? If I can already show it here.
19. 16 takes 3 damage.
He's gonna make a dex roll.
We got a King Cadwalla. Oh, these guys are listed as Lombard Knights. Pay no attention.
I'm on dex.
Yeah, hang on a second here. 25. 23, okay. Stays on. All right, round 2.
How much did you say? How much
round
did you
2,
save
right?
from that?
Oh, he only took 3.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, they had 16, and you didn't degrade his shield either, so it only took 3. Rogero, you're up.
Uh-huh.
You can either fight. I'm going to give you... you get 5 glory for that guy. You can either seek out another opponent or kind of go around to help your guys.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around to help my guys. I'm going to help... I'm going to help... Between Samson and Renier, which one could use the most help?
Samson's typically better than I am, but he's got a -4 right now, so he might want to help him.
Yeah, so you know, Rogero realizes that he's run too far forward, and the enemy is thinning a little, and then he hears battle behind him, and you know he spurs his horse around, and he sees Samson is fighting, but the knight in front of him is a little too deft, and he comes charging to Samson's aid.
Real quick, Samson, I need you to make 2 battle rolls. First one for this round, NPC Follower's Fate, and the second one is for the unit events.
Alrighty. Success.
10% losses. Survivors are victorious. So you continue to win. And roll another one.
Oof, crit fail.
Crit, is that a fumble?
Yeah, that'd be a fumble.
Yeah, that's a fumble. Disengage, disadvantagedly suffer -5 on all weapon rolls. Your entire unit has a -5 this round. So what happens?
By chance or by not paying attention, there are reinforcements close to the baggage train that are quickly coming to the aid of those defending their provisions. With overwhelming numbers, the attackers quickly become the defenders as they're put in a ill-favored position against the Byzantines.
Rogero, you're going to help Renier?
No, he's going to help Samson,
No, I'm going to help Samson.
Samson.
who now has
Yeah.
a -9.
And I have now 0, right?
Yes.
You have 0. Yep.
Okay. Sword. Oh shit! Is that good or bad?
That's a crit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're going to kill this guy. You don't even need to roll for it. It's max damage, so... What happens to this dude?
So
Racking up more glory. Glory whore.
So, so back in 777 was the first kill steal. As Rogero turns around and comes charging back towards Samson's aid, he sees that the somehow they're a little bit in trouble. Their attack started well, but Samson has taken too long to kill his enemy, and that's kind of causing some of his followers to lose their morale. And while the knight is engaged with Samson, Rogero comes charging from behind, and just at the opportune moment where it would not be considered an honorless act, he shouts out to be aware of his enemy knight, to be aware of his presence and his challenge. But the knight does not turn around in time, and Rogero is able to behead him as well in spectacular fashion, dripping the entire retinue with blood.
See what Bradamant does. It's a negative, it's at 0 now then, huh?
Yep.
Yeah, for her zero.
Success. Oh, I think the other guys...
Yeah, the other guy got it.
closer. 10 damage. That does nothing to her. Yeah, but Rogero, you do see that the knight that you probably know it's your lover. She's in a tussle with the knight, and they seem to be evenly matched. As you slay this dude, Samson, you're up.
Well, my dude's dead, right?
Yep. You can help another, or
I'm gonna go help Renier. And he's gonna swing at that Byzantine knight. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I'm at -9. I ain't gonna do shit.
Might as well try.
Why? So he can fucking kill me? No
yeah,
thanks.
that's right.
He'll kind of nod his thanks to Rogero, and seeing the disposition of the forces, try and regain the initiative against the Byzantines.
All right, Renier.
He's gonna try to stab him. Let's see. The butt. There we go. Baseline. Nice.
Gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Oh, he missed.
He missed.
A total miss. So that's a full-on damage. No shield.
Yeah, I gotta roll it. Is that on the sheet or?
It's up top on your bar. It says damage.
I'm
Yep.
brain for it.
We're up on the bar up top.
Bar. Oh, okay.
So to the right of Courtly.
Yeah. One
17.
shield.
Yeah. He doesn't use the shield though. So he only soaks 10 of it. That's 7 damage.
Dex.
So he unfortunately he's at negative. Yeah, he's at -5 as well now.
This is a -5, right? His dex roll.
Yep.
But he takes
No!
an extra what?
Falls
D6
off.
was the damage he takes from falling? Is it nice? Takes it all.
And he's unconscious. What's that look like? It's enough for you.
Renee, he's kind of circling around the guy, and he has a spear, and that guy has a sword, and Renee's very good at this. He just uses the length of the spear and just straight up stabs him in the gut, and kind of over the head of the horse, kind of comes up and down and stabs him in the gut, and the guy just kind of grabs at his stomach and just slips off his horse because just the excruciating pain and shock, and just smacks his head on the ground.
Next round, you guys have gone through 2 rounds. So each of you guys get 20 glory. There's only one knight left, and Rogero, you can tell me what it looks like as that knight flees back to the main lines, leaving the baggage train for you guys.
Yeah, so, Bradamant is in combat with this last knight, and Rogero, after killing the knight that was fighting Sir Samson, he spurs his horse again and starts riding towards the demure knight who he knows is his love. And as he charges, he screams the glory of his lord, and is able to frighten the lowly knight into running away.
They run away, and the baggage train and their supplies are just fully yours. I'll let you guys role play that.
Yeah, Renee would starts barking orders. Bring this large forces quickly. Burn what you cannot take.
Rogero would turn to the Duke. Duke Renier, let us take as much as we can. Do not burn it. We should try and save as much, make multiple sorties. If we are able to push back Prince Leo, you could bring these supplies to Budapest. And not only would you be Duke Renier, you would be Duke Renier, the savior of Budapest, bringing you much glory.
Yeah. Yes, this is a good idea.
There will not be. Will there be time though? The rest of the forces will be able to bear down on us. I do not know if we will be able to make a second trip and retrieve it. He kind of looks at the battlefield. Will they have enough time to make multiple runs, or will they be overwhelmed if they?
Yeah. It's a pretty devastating thing that's probably going to force them into negotiations.
Yeah, we'll steal as much as we can, and if we have to leave any, then we'll burn it. Or actually, we won't. We'll just make them give it over later.
Yeah, if we take as much as we can the first time, I imagine it'll break the siege.
Well, why don't you give me a battle roll and we'll see if it's a success, failure, or a crit.
Are we still at -5?
No, I think that was just for that round.
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that was just for that skirmish. Success. So, yeah, you get most of it, right? Enough to force them to the table. You're probably not going to be like the savior of Budapest when you enter. A lot of it wasn't as much as you thought. It's like this siege probably couldn't have held out much longer. The Byzantines might have won, but it would be a Pyrrhic victory for them at most. So
he takes what he can, realizing that it wasn't as grand as they were hoping for, but enough to perhaps have a negotiated end to the conflict. With that, he grabs what he can and then begins an orderly retreat back to where they came with their war booty in tow.
you guys all do that, and an hour later, you look out across the field and you see a company of 12 knights riding their horses up a shallow hill through partially burnt grass in your direction. There's a black horse, a brown one, a couple white ones. Why don't you guys either do me recognize or heraldry?
Goodness.
I try to give you points in this every time.
Recognize or heraldry. Oh, I have a check now. A check mark and recognize. So let's do.
Well, heraldry gives you plus whatever your whatchamacallit is. So.
Okay, so it's not a crit, but
crit.
But yeah, it's a 9, not a. It's 4 of 9, so I didn't crit, but I passed it.
I already have a check in heraldry, so I'm going to go with recognize. So get ready to laugh.
Oh,
so close!
Oh no, so close.
Who are these? I do not know who these fools
I
are.
have one.
I'll do recognize.
Yeah, Jesus.
Okay. Yep. That's us. So you get a check in that, both you and Tat. So you recognize that one of their number is Prince Leo, and his house standard is flying before the company kind of approaching you, and they ride up to your camp, and not only is there the arms of their house flying before them, but also a white flag for negotiations.
Renee nods and will have his squire, and he nods to Rogero and Samson. He's like, "Let us see what this prince has to say, huh?"
Yes, indeed.
We have forced their hand. It is obvious by the fact they come to speak despite holding the numerical advantage.
As you kind of go to face him. Who's kind of all in the group?
Just us four and Bradamant if she's hanging around.
Yeah, she'd probably be back a little ways, and she's probably looking a little rough. The prince kind of comes up to all of you. Hello? King Viseslav, I expect. Viseslav comes up. Go. Prince Leo of the Byzantines. We have exchanged many messages lo these many months. It is unfortunate that we meet on the field of battle. I would much rather share an ale with thee, but thee insists on threatening my eastern border. And here we are now. And then Prince Leo says, yes, and here we are now. The strike upon my eastern flank was a stroke of genius. It was unprotected. I did not expect you to be so bold, Viseslav. But I see you have made new friends. Who are these knights? Viseslav kind of stands to the side.
Rene says,
Let Samson and introduce themselves.
Duke Rene Legris of Spoleto. This is Samson of Verdun. And this is the Paladin of King Charlemagne, Rogero. We are here as independent warriors, not at the behest of Charlemagne.
Only in name. Only in name. I see you have made powerful allies, Viseslav. They come as mercenaries, but we all know King Charles seeks to expand his empire. But at what price?
What are you doing
Viseslav.
here? You are here to expand your empire?
My father's bidding. King Constantinople of Byzantium, yes, indeed.
This siege is at an end.
Renier, let us
Prince.
speak as reasonable men.
Be quiet now. Your siege is at an end. We will speak terms of your surrender.
Give me courtesy.
No, let's not. Do I get a +5 from God still, or no?
Yeah.
Oh, so I get a +10 total then. Okay.
Oh no, you don't get the you get your courtesy
okay.
bonus, but not
Okay.
the prayer.
Okay.
No.
No, I get, that's glory. Glory. You're talking about, I just get glory, right? Glory bonus?
Yes,
Okay.
just the glory bonus. Yeah, that's what I meant. Oh, there you go. Like, how could you have said that and not been such an ass?
Excuse me, my prince. We should talk the terms of your surrender. We do not need to bring King Charles or the expansion of empires into this, as you are here to expand your own empire. Let us solve this amicably.
He circles his horse around. There will be no talk of surrender. But alas, yes, I agree. Further battle would only lead to bloodshed on both sides.
Renee kind of looks to
Even
Rogero.
all of his company, his whole company looks just fucking beat down. Like they've been there for 6 months, right?
Yeah, Renee says,
He has his princely clothes are on, but they're like covered in mud and soot.
Prince Leo, stay your horse. I understand that you must make a show for your people, for after all you are the son of Constantinople, the king of Byzantium. But stay your horse and listen. I have heard of you and your wise ways. You are a wise man and you know what is at stake here. We can all go to war. You may win, but you will certainly perish. If you understand what I mean, you will certainly perish. Your men have fought bravely, but they are tired. Look onto their eyes. They want to go home. And so do you. Look at me closely, Prince Leo. We can end this amicably, but with honor. I am Rogero, Saracen by birth. but Christian by right. I challenge you into one-on-one combat. You will not be defiling yourself because you will be fighting a person from your land, and this will be seen by your men. And I will be fighting on the side of right, the side of my new God, the true God. What say you?
He looks around, seeing that he is between a rock and a hard place. Myself, I am a prince of Byzantium. And by you, the looks of you, a Saracen.
He is a paladin of Charlemagne.
Yes, indeed. Have you been baptized, my lord?
Talking to me, or
I have indeed. I have indeed. I see the love now. The love that we must all shine out if we are to live in peace and follow in the ways of our Lord. But what you have done here, Prince Leo, is at odds.
Prince Leo then calls his squire over then. If it is for love, then let it be for love. A contest, Rogero. Blunted blades. I shall not give my life, though I lose the battle. For in the spring I am promised to another, one of your kin, a Frankish woman named Bradamant. Would I survive this battle, I will speak of your righteousness to her, be it in my bedchamber. He hops off his horse, and his squire gives him a blunted blade. So in duels, there's something called for love, I think, and it's basically blunted blades. You know, first to fall.
Yeah.
Yep, and he's waiting for you to get down.
Rogero gets down from the horse. If I defeat you, Prince Leo, if I defeat you, then forsake the hand that which you seek. For you will not be worthy. You have not won any battle, and you have done nothing of worth. And when I defeat you, know this, that if the blade was not blunted, your blood would be spilt on this land of Hungary.
Mayhaps I have lost this battle, Rogero. But I am no fool. The paladins of Charlemagne are known far and wide. Have you not heard the song of Roland, the lay of Oliver the paladin? Nay, I have not much hope of victory against thee. But still, as a consolation prize, I will keep my bride. If you ask such things, then I shall ask for a champion. But it may not be from among my knights. They are a ragged band, starved and diseased. But would you, Rogero, be able to outwit and outlast the tallest and most strong of your own number?
If it frees the fair lady of you and your ilk and your kind and your soft ways, then so be it. I will show you how brothers fight, and your men will see it, and they will remember that the next time they step across their borders, the men that await them and the fate that awaits them.
He smiles. Very well then. He kind of bows and drags his blunted blade across the mud and he looks up, casts his gaze over the knights of Charlemagne, and he picks out the tallest one, the most slender and agile-looking one, and points to Bradamant. You there! Come hither. Show your mettle on the field of battle and make a contest for me. If you shall win, a place on my court you shall have. The riches of Byzantium will be yours, above and beyond what King Charles can offer thee. And very silent, a mysterious cloaked knight descends from his horse and brings the visor down. Chink! It brings up a blade. And wordlessly, this mysterious knight charges at Rogero.
Rogero shouts back.
Succeed.
guard.
6.
And okay, combat sword. Do I get any bonuses?
Nope.
Okay.
Gotcha. 22 damage. And your shield is decreased by 3. So your shield is basically only worth 3 now.
Okay.
And so you, what's your armor? Your total armor is 19.
Yeah, the one in the green bubble says 19.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at your sheet here. 10 plus shield plus 3. So yeah, that'd be 19. So you take what, 3 damage?
So 41 minus 3. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so as the sword comes, bursting down on Rogero, he raises his shield and he feels a crack occurring through the shield as he gets pushed back a little. He knows who it is, but he is surprised himself at the ferocity of the strike, and then he smiles, knowing the person he's fighting and what they're capable of, and he's now enjoying himself, for it is rare to be in a fight where you enjoy it.
Again.
Do this.
Alright, you're gonna have her on this one. No! 19. And yours would be 19. Your shield's down by, that'd be 16. You'd be taking another 3 damage.
Okay.
And she kind of presses in upon you. And you can hear her just say, "What's wrong, my love? Have you grown weak, fighting for such a..."
Your sound wave right now, by the way.
Cylon, straight Cylon right there.
Like, oh shit!
Oh, what? Oh, I think it got changed. Oh, it got changed to robot.
I'm like, holy shit, did we go from 777 to like 7777? Oh no, my bad.
You fight with love in your own heart? Rogero, would you fight for this foreign king Charlemagne? To win me to your bedchamber, you must try harder than this, my love.
So be it. So be it. A battle it shall be. And Rogero now strikes back with more ferocity.
You're having some not great rolls there.
He doesn't want to hurt her. Jeez.
17. You only take 1 damage from that.
Okay. But actually, I was reading.
Yeah, we'll just role play it from here. It's fine.
Yeah. No, what I'm saying is, I was also reading that he doesn't best her in the epic either.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't.
What happens?
So it's actually going per the epic right now. He doesn't best her in combat. Okay, so he rolls again.
So your shield would be damaged by another, and you would take 2.
Okay.
Seven.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, 23! 6-6, your shield is busted. What does it look like as your shield just is disintegrated at this time?
Yeah, so this time now, Bradamant is really getting into the fight and she's getting more and more vicious. Rogero is fighting back, but he is more surprised by the ferocity than anything else. How can a person who's so kind and loving be also so ferocious? But everybody else on the battlefield, they have already heard of his exploits where he beheaded 2 knights coming to the assistance of the Duke and his man Sir Samson. And then to see that him being slowly bested by a more slender and demure knight, it is now raising a lot of eyebrows.
Yeah, everybody's gathering around the duel, right? And you would take 10 damage from that, actually.
Okay.
Which you, I think...
I'm not 22. Yeah.
So you are at -10 to actions.
Okay.
You're at -10, so this is not going well for you. Next round. Oh!
-10.
Miss. Full damage on this one, no shield. Your shield's broken anyway. 18, you would deflect. I think you would deflect, how much of that? 13, you would take another 5. You're going to go down soon after this round if I win.
Okay.
Next one.
-10.
Partial success. Roll damage. Oh, that's pretty good. That ignores half of her armor too, so she would only negate 6 of that, so that would be 17 damage. That would put her at a -10 as well.
Okay, so that is a pretty strong hit,
oh,
right?
Yeah, very strong. Yeah, narratively,
Okay.
what would that look like?
Yeah, so Rogero is surprised and he's getting now pummeled by her sword. His shield is gone, and he's kind of raising his sword and almost reflex, but without any power or without any drive behind it. And then he shakes his head and he kind of the training kicks in. All this love kind of escapes as that bloodlust kicks in, and he now just pushes the knight physically back, swings his sword really hard, and cracks them right across their right shoulder and across their breastplate, sending them slightly reeling back.
Yeah, it actually knocks her helmet off. And this woman is revealed with this blonde flowing hair. What does Renier and Samson do?
Samson is shocked by what he sees, impressed with the stranger's ability to fight a paladin, but once seeing what happened, he's A woman? What? Like, just totally... What?
Yeah, Renee looks very confused. With his, he looks very strange.
Yeah, Prince Leo just aghast, and she presses forward towards Rogero one last time.
What's more for love, Rogero?
Once more for love it is.
Oh, that's a pretty good one.
Woo! Still minus 10, right?
That's a negative 10. Sorry.
Yeah.
So that would have been at what 10 threshold. So that's a miss.
Okay. Let's see if this works.
Crit.
You kill her.
You crit her. You kill her. No. Tell me what it looks like as you just, do what you want. And
Yeah,
turn
so
it up to an embrace.
yeah. So Rogero, he hears her say once more for love, and he hears himself repeat it, but she, unrealizing, has kind of pushed him kind of over the edge, till the first few jousts were for show and to get it going. But she pushed him beyond, and his training kicked in. Now he's in full battle mode. He is a Paladin of Charlemagne. He is Rogero, and without thinking, he twirls pirouettes and then brings the sword really hard down onto her helmet, knocking her to the ground, almost unconscious. And then he realizes what he's done, and he drops his sword, his beloved sword, and rushes forward and bends down to one knee to pick Bradamant up.
As you pick her up, she grabs you in her embrace and gives you a longing kiss. Prince Leo looks onward, meeting Bradamant once before. And he simply says out, he's kind of shaking his head, "I have been bested, not only in arms, but in wits. It seems that my bride was not meant to be. She yearns for another, and it is fate and God's will that has brought them together. The field is yours, Rogero, and my lady." And he gives a very chivalric bow. And there's a... Yeah!
Rogero gets up and lifts Bradamant to her feet and raises her hand. "Lady Bradamant, a fighter as good as any man, and follower of our God."
And in the coming hours, the siege is lifted. Samson and Renier can roleplay what happens there, and then we'll do a quick wedding scene, and then we'll be done.
Renee would try to take part of the spoils of war in slaves from the mass of the Constantinople forces, and then probably sell them at Verdun and give Samson his share, and everybody, if they would allow that, or if we could force that. Common men, of course. Can you hear me?
Yep. Samson.
Samson would tend to the wounded, marshal his forces, and then after securing the provisions, whatever they didn't take as spoils, he would offer up to the besieged within Budapest, and then begin coordinating with whomever was manning the walls to ensure the Byzantines don't come back.
And the next day, there is, on the former feudal battle, there is a wedding. It is under a large tent. And in this tent, not only is King Viseslav there, but Renier, Legree, and Samson. Of course, the Byzantines has left. Prince Leo was a good sport, but not such good of a sport that he's going to stick around and see his formerly betrothed married to another man. But a gentleman by the name of Darko gives you a wedding gift, Rogero, and it's a tapestry. And as you pick it up,
As you pick it up, what?
Oh, I think his mic or his set crapped out again.
Now we'll never know.
Ow. Hey Bo, if you can hear us, we can't hear you. It's the tapestry of silence.
Right?
Cone of silence is cast upon him as he spoke. Well, he's still like in the VC too. What's he doing? Maybe it's his voice changer. Oh, I'm having issues too. Can you hear me? There you go. I'm back.
We can hear you now. I think Discord is having issues.
check.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, Discord was being weird too, but my headset was doing that blinky red light thing. Anyhow, he gives you. Did you hear
Tapestry, that's it.
the tapestry? It's woven by somebody named Cassandra of Troy, and it's blessed to give married couples long life and a loving marriage. And as it hangs inside the tent during the wedding, it's like has moving pictures on the tapestry of like the battle and your duel, like Harry Potter moving pictures almost, according to the lore.
Yeah, it's like basically the candle lights shine and the tapestry might have like gold threads. So, and as it moves with the breeze, it looks like everything is moving under the light.
And you're married to Bradamant, and that's where we'll end it, unless there's anything else.
Sweet, sweet.
winter phase next time, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Alright. We gotta figure out how much I'm gonna put in my bio that we just took a bunch of
How much booty?
slaves, yeah.
We'll get
You tell me.
booty figured out.
All that booty.
We'll figure that out later.
Took slaves and booty from.
Yeah, it was a good game, man. It was great. That's awesome.
Pretty good.